Welcome to the final day of week number 3 here in the LCS Challengers League. I'm Mazel, joined by Kangas and Cubby for the day. And it's going to be a fun one. I finally get to torture Kangas with my halftime bits. How you doing, Kangas? You hanging in there?
I'm a little worried because I got to torture you earlier in this split already. I believe you had 0 points earned in my game.
You know, we're not going to talk about that.
I'm just hoping that you're not holding a grudge.
Cubby, you doing all right? Are you ready to make him look bad in the halftime bits?
You know, I'm excited. Last time Kangas and I cast, it was 21 summer finals. And given the setup that we had for last year, I actually didn't realize that the two of you didn't get to torch one another with the halftime bits. So I have even more reason to be excited now. This is great.
You just get to sit back and relax and watch it unfold, I guess. But we do have we have a great day of games ahead of us. I think it's going to be a really fun capper to a week 3 that has already seen so much craziness, especially on our first day on Saturday. But before we get to all the craziness of the day, we did have a little bit of fun with On The Range this week. So let's go ahead and check it out. Welcome to another episode of On The Range. Now, we've been acquiring a lot of land, but it's time for these critters to start marking their territory. One of the most active has been Evil Genius's Shaden. Let's see if we can catch him, shall we? I think I see him right over there.
All right, sorry. What were you saying we got to think about as Shaden is getting picked right now? Never mind. I think he's going to 1v3 here. He's got enough to drain tank. Goose dead. Double kill to Shaden in a 1v3. Are you kidding me? Lunasia's trying to jump in there, but not with Robbie Bob's help. That's an easy triple to Shaden.
A little bit tricky right here. Robbie Bob does have the heroic entrance. Justice Punch gets a knockup on NXI. NXI trying to get away. Camille getting in with the ultimatum. 1-for-1 trade. Still going forward is going to be Evil Geniuses. And Shaden will tear apart the backline with a triple kill for the Geniuses.
Some critters you gotta wrestle, but some critters you just gotta dance.
All right, now we're gonna teach you the para-carry. So first, you grab your cowboy hat, you're looking for prey. You're looking for prey. Then you gotta get your lasso ready, get it real tight now. Wind that sucker up and let it go. But freeze and do a little dance, do a little dance, do a little dance, do a little dance. And now you've learned the para-carry.
Control of their own side of the map. At least Yuji is able to steal away that. Oh, he gets it! What? What? Well, block. He's only ever one plays before he can actually. He's alive. They are the team
Really
to
good.
beat.
You have two abilities that can proc it.
I mean, there's no mechanical misplay.
anytime
Front lane, and now Jimenez. Oh,
I'm in here. He wants the Hoon going down right now. Looks
Do the split. And oh boy. Oh.
Woo-wee! These critters starting to establish themselves out there. They're still gonna need some wrestling though. Make sure you come by next time for another episode of On The Range now. You hear? Ooh. Thank you, me. No, but appreciate. Yeah, I got Kangas with that one. All right, it's always a pleasure to get to put together On The Range with you, Kangas, and getting to see these players, especially as they establish themselves here in the league. But let's go ahead and throw it to some updated Twitter posts that we've had throughout the weekend, and starting off with a bit of a somber note, at least, but Myra coming out saying, you know, it does suck to see us lose over and over again, but long-term growth is the key.
I gotta say, I think that, you know, for a lot of these LCS third teams, I think that we've been pretty good at establishing an NACL, that your spot, if you're an LCS org, it's going to be used to A, promote players internally, B, sell players externally. That's how you can get the most value out of this spot. And I think that for COG Faith, you know, they did have a tough situation with BMFX stepping down late, Sketch having to play a role that he wasn't even supposed to play this split, even if it was his old role. And I gotta say, I think the best prospect on that team is Sketch at support. So the fact that, you know, he was playing support yesterday, I think had some nice moments, even in that 0-2. That's a step in the right direction for COG Faith. But I mean, we also have to talk about this is a provisional team that is at risk of being relegated. And if anyone in the community is going to pick one team right now that we feel like is the most likely to be relegated, I would like to talk to you if that team isn't COG Faith. because I think that is, the team that I feel is most likely to not make it to NACL next split, given what they're playing like right now. So I do want to see this team step up, because as the season moves on, that is something we're going to have to talk about and recognize.
Yeah, for sure. Now we did have Array with the big 2-0 over TSM. Kangas feels good, man.
That was big, and I'm excited to see Array on screen too, because he's somebody that I think, obviously Young's the player that they play too often. He's like the big playmaker, but Array is a consistent DPS source, and they do play around the bot lane often as well. So I think it's cool to see that not only they got the win, but we get to see a little bit of Array coming out here, and maybe some gloating, but not too much.
Not too much. Just a casual flex for sure. And especially, I'm just happy to see Array actually having a little bit of faith here as well in himself. But Nada, okay. Liquid Honda Bowl was a banger. It actually was. I was trying to catch a little bit of it while we were over here on the A stream, and it was insane. Kangas, you got a little bit of a breakdown?
So I was hosting on this day. This was just yesterday. You were saying craziness on Saturday. I think Sunday had all the craziness in it. We had the Super Bowl SmackDown, and then the Team Liquid Civil War between First and Challengers, and they split games. Like, we went into that with full expectations. Team Liquid Challenger are one of the best teams in the league. They should have an easy 2-0 here. Team Liquid First had been struggling to find like a good identity that was working for them, but I mean, go back and watch those games. Watch that series if you have time this week, because you need to see what happened.
So I was VOD reviewing all 12 games last night on my stream. Game 1 from the series blew me away. Tonight, I'm going to be doing the VOD reviews of the games that I miss, and we will also be making a list of like the dumbest, craziest games that everyone needs to watch from NACL in the first 3 weeks, because we're going to be over 100 games by the end of today. And that one is definitely on the list. That game 1 is on the list. It's a must watch.
We got to throw it to Keel here, though, as, he's saying he should have prepared harder, study Warwick's bids. As it was an important lesson to learn, it feels like, Cubby.
So the other list I'm going to make is the the list of games where it's over in the fastest amount of time. And I think that game so far is leading, because Jenkins Warwick 1v2 at the enemy red buff. Got a kill, and then forced sec back. It was the dumbest start to the game I've seen out of any of the 100 games we've seen at NACL so far. So appreciate Keel. And Wildcard really emerging as one of the biggest stories that we have in NACL this split.
Indeed. And last but not least, got a little bit of a wholesome moment as well, as Wixie's dad, Paul, getting to take a picture with his son on the weekend of these games, but as well as just that culmination of a year of growth for Wixie.
Is this actually his Twitter name, Paul in parentheses Wixie's dad?
I think so.
He's a big fan.
He's a big fan. He's a big fan.
That's amazing.
He is an incredible guy, though, Cubby.
We love to see parental support, and he's really, backing up Wixie wherever he's at, and Wixie has been backing up his own case with some decent plays so far this split. So excited to see him in our second series today.
Him and Joey really trying to light it up at least. But welcome back, and we got the Samsung SSD Fast 5 for you.
SSD Fast 5?
No way! We got some cool stats, though, to catch people up on where we've seen some of the fastest stats around the league. And I believe it is, as we were saying earlier here, the weekly stat collection, I guess, and I just saw our producer type in there. It is week number 2 stats. So let's go ahead and take a look. Is there anything that stands out to you guys, especially you, Cubby?
Yeah, pre-130 kill from Lost. Good luck beating that.
Yeah,
ain't happening.
It is from week 2, so we'll see what week 3 looks like. But that's a good way to get started. All bot laners, honestly, under 4 minutes. I feel like that really encapsulates the craziness of Challengers.
I'm trying to remember the context of this kill. Oh, was this when they go on Smoothie? I think Smoothie was setting up a Heimer turret or something.
This was C9 in the LeBlanc game. They cheesed before the minions spawned. And okay. MNS just walked bot, started chain, and it was some of the most disgusting one-trick stuff I've seen. Because MNS, of course, used to be, LeBlanc one-trick. It's something like only one-tricks would know. And it broke the game, so they won.
So for me, the thing that stands out here is there's not a big separation in numbers, at least. Besides that first kill a little bit. Obviously, that first kill is going to have a bit of cheese to it. But especially seeing kind of that consistency across the board, Cubby, it's kind of cool.
I think that this league has been pretty competitive this year. Like, we're going to talk a lot about our first series because we do feel like Dignitas are the front runners at the moment. But it's not like the competition is like there's a big gap between them and everyone else. Definitely a very competitive league, which I think makes things very exciting moving forward. And I'm really excited to see how the standings shake out for playoffs. As we are almost halfway done with regular season already.
Don't say that. That's too much.
I know.
Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me.
Honestly, yeah.
But let's go ahead and maybe put our color casters up for judging, as we have gotten Cubby, Joshi, and Beatdown's 2 cents on their top 5 players, top 5 front runners rather. And the lists are pretty similar here. Cubby, do you want to make a case before we go at you?
Yeah, sure. So this list was made before this week for today's broadcast. So we didn't make this including this week's play, but a lot of it we feel like are these like just strong individual play. And I was very surprised to see that all 3 of us actually had the same 5 players in mind.
That's the biggest thing that jumps out to me. Yeah. The consistency. Even if they are kind of moved around a little bit, it's the same 5.
Yeah. So I think that, we just did say that Dignitas are the top team in the league. I think it's kind of curious that we don't have anyone from Dig on the list. I was really thinking about dropping Insanity in there. Tomo, I think, has also had a great start to the season. Has been playing really well. Those guys are worth shout-outs. But Dig also is a team we feel like they're just pound for pound really, really strong. And some of these individuals, keep in mind C9 also being the top team coming into this week, have been incredibly impressive. I mean, Eminez has 20 solo kills. That is filthy. Shaden had 5 games in a row where he dropped 10-plus kills. I dare you to go find another league where that has happened with any individual player in the last 5 years of League of Legends. And I would love to see that in front of my face. Bradley for...
In front of my face?
I don't know if it's happened. It was the most ridiculous week of play I've ever seen, really, from Shaden. So I feel like him getting that number 1 spot, pretty sound. And I think this is a list of players that I could see having success at the next level.
You have any thoughts about this now, Kangas, as he's given his long case?
I think the biggest thing to factor in is that, yes, this was after week 2. I don't know how much the last 2 day of games would have actually changed too much of this around. But one name in particular on there, Bradley, I think is still performing very well right now. But there's a chance that some of the votes for him also are factoring into just the improvement year over year. And
True.
Kind of giving him more argument that way, because I do think that there are other top laners that have been individually performing a little bit stronger than Bradley. But he was tied with MNS if you actually factor in the averages here. So obviously, Cubby, Joshi, and Beatdown still view Bradley very highly.
Yeah, it is interesting. We'll see how these lists go, as maybe we'll check into them a little bit further down the way, I guess. But let's go ahead and bring it back, because we got to focus on what we have going on today. We're reaching the 3rd day of week number 3, the final day here, as we're getting close to that halfway point. But we especially need to kind of look at these standings and see where some things are kind of working out. I know we've had big things to say about Fear, Wildcard. I know we've talked about Dignitas Challengers, Cloud9 Challengers as well, but this league has been a lot of feistiness, it feels like, across the board.
I cannot believe that, like, we play 30 games, and we have 2 provisional teams that have combined for 17 wins so far. And Fear and Wildcard, as they're both on the left side of the standing. These are the non-LCS affiliates as well. I think this has been a huge storyline for this season of NACL. Besides that, our top of the table kind of starting to emerge. I gotta say, I think COG's strength of schedule has been really tough, so they're gonna pick up some wins in the back half. But I said going into this, I felt like there were 6 competitive teams, and it really feels like we do have 6 teams just from Challengers teams and 2 provisional teams that can make for a very fascinating playoff.
There's a lot of teams. We called it the glob or the clump last year. We kind of like interchanged those 2 words because we would oftentimes have this big group of teams in the middle and we're all tied with each other. It kind of feels like we just have a big group towards the top right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dignitas are in first, but then you look, the 3-way tie for 2nd place, and then like only 2 games separating 9th from 2nd. That's actually kind of crazy. I mean, I know there's 16 teams in this league, but 9th to 2nd is a big jump for only 2 games differential.
Just a wee bit of a jump. But I do want to bring us to our culmination of the weekend. It is our match days, and we got EG first of all, versus Dignitas Challengers. I think that one's going to be a lot of fun. Then we have Immortals Progressive Challengers versus TSM Challengers, and Golden Guardians Challengers versus Team Liquid Honda First. Any thoughts that jump out at you straight away, Cubby?
I'm really excited for the day. I think that we have matchups that are close, can be competitive, and a lot of that starts with our first matchup where EG did fall 0-2 with Ryoma stepping in yesterday, and they get a chance to show what they have in store as they go against what we just called the top team in the league so far. See it on the standings, see it in their play. Excited to see Dignitas perform again today.
I wonder what the KDA for Shaden's going to look like today, but we got to look at Dignitas Challengers first. Kangas as Hoon, XU, Insanity, Tomo, and Diamond take to the Rift.
How do we not have an XU photo? What is going on here?
That's a really good question. They even posted like the group photo from the other day.
In LA.
We could just cut it out.
All right,
Anything.
I'll try and get a JPEG.
I swear we had a photo of him last year.
Yeah, I'm in a different jersey though, so you can't use it anymore. Dignitas, they're number 1 of the standings after day 2, week 3. If they get a 2-0 here, it is guaranteed that they end week 3 in first place. If they drop a game, there's a chance that they end it tied. If they go 0-2, then they could just lose that spot entirely. But obviously, they're looking for that 2-0. I think that I joked about it with Diamond on Twitter. He's always got to be on the broadcast with us for the LAN finals. So I hope that they drop up early. maybe a little bit. But I think that he took it personally because they're playing really well right now, and they are gunning for that number 1 spot.
And this is a team, Bakery said it in the Dignitas Discord when they announced this roster. Their goal is to win NACL. I think the goal should be, to promote players internally and externally. But if you're doing well, TLA, they promoted the most people. They won each split. Dignitas, they're playing damn well so far. I think pound for pound, this team has showed very few weaknesses. And I love some of the innovation we've seen out of them too, as I'm sold in this Udyr mid pick. In situational, I think Insanity's playing it well. It gets pushed. It's gotten summoner spells solo. The pick's very strong, and a lot of teams have not shown that they can deal with it.
Yeah, and getting to talk just one last little bit on Insanity, getting to talk to him a bit, especially the communication structure with him. He is loving it. That brain culture that they're cultivating over there. But over on Evil Geniuses Challengers, they've got a pretty solid roster themselves, as we had talked so much about. Soul, Shaden, Ryoma, Mobility, and Smoothie.
Of course, Mobility being the last of the subs remaining as he's stepping in for King for this, at least so far.
Foreseeable future.
But Ryoma in was the big news coming into the weekend. How does the team look different with Ryoma as opposed to Robbie Bob? Because Robbie Bob was just playing the Lissandras, the Gallios, things that would enable Shaden to be that primary carry. And I wasn't sure if Ryoma would fit that same mold based on what we saw yesterday. I think like day 1 at least he's not. Like they're not going to that same style of enable Shaden to be the primary.
No, and I don't think they should. Part of that was Robbie Bob's strength as a player. He's him being as an individual, we expect Ryoma to be stronger. So I feel like that was EG's best way to get wins with a sub. Shaden played very well, but this team is going to be a little bit different with Ryoma. And guys, it's always great to see Ryoma back in NACL. It was a crime he wasn't competing last split. And the last time we saw him, this is the last time we casted Kangas. He has a championship to his name. The last 3 splits he's been in the league, he has taken top 3 or better at PG. He's always been top 3 at his role, and the fact that he's back and competing with Shaden is very exciting for EG this split.
Yeah, I think seeing him step back onto the stage as one of those mid laners that felt like had a lot of control over game states last time we got to see him. It's going to be a lot of fun, especially when we zone back in to what can be such a crucial factor here. We've already kind of danced around it a little bit, but Shaden and Ryoma together can be such a powerful duo, and XU and Insanity are going to have something to say here for it. So guys, I think we're ready for our first draft of the day. So let's get it underway.
Thank you, Mazel Cubby. We're finally into game number 1, our first cast together in a while, and Mazel set us up perfectly. The mid-jungle is the primary focus for this because it's a new mid-jungle combo from Shaden and Ryoma versus XU and Sandy. They've been working together for a while, and they are looking real clean together.
Again, Dignitas, for us, they're our top team right now. They've showed very few weaknesses. I think they're playing well as a team together. And EG is going to be up to a tough test. I know I caught up with Ryoma before the games today, and he said, yeah, Dig's good. We feel like if we play our best, though, we can take down anyone in this league, including Dig, who might be the top dogs right now. So we'll see if EG can live up to that. I definitely believe it, looking at their roster pound for pound. I'm really excited for King to get in, too, because if anyone's a fan of Oceanic League Legends in the past, Ryoma and King are like two of the best players that have ever played in that region. The fact they're on a team together now is going to be really exciting when King gets here. But for now, we'll see if Mobility can actually keep on playing rather respectably. I think Mobility has done a really nice job subbing in.
He's fitting the role that they need on the team. He's playing a lot of the facilitating AD carries, which again kind of enables the other carries on the team. Something that we haven't talked about yet as we're catching up on Pick Band here. Soul versus Hoon also. Hoon's been kind of popping off lately. Soul is going to have his work cut out.
Yeah, so I believe Hoon, right now, he is third in his role behind Haunter and Surdy for gold diff at 15. He's been laning really well. And there's been a big lane focus for Dignitas. As Tomo, he's been leading, or second, I should say, in all ADs. And oh boy, we already have that Kate Varus lane where we expect that Caitlyn to be support. So taking a lot of range to play into Ashe. I mean, we're going to have to see what the response is here for Smoothie. We've seen some players play Blitzcrank into the double ranged lanes or Nautilus to try and find hooks. Or also Karma is available. Or they could go for something like Jhin if they wanted to move that Ashe support. We can have a 4 marksman bot lane.
They're going to Jhin.
Yeah.
Okay, 4 marksmen. Let's see it. So a lot of range focus. Wukong loves this because he can try and blow up the Caitlyn or the Varus. Same with the Elise. We've been seeing this in the meta pretty commonly. I'm not the biggest fan of it still. I know that it can give you a lot of priority bot lane, but it feels so swingy. Like, the side that falls behind can really struggle to get back into the game.
Yeah, I think that's a good call out, because for Dignitas, when you have this Elise, it's all about the first 2 clears in jungle. How much can you get your laners ahead? Whereas with Shaden on the Wukong, I'm more focused on that mid game, right? Your big spikes at Divine Sunder +9, and that's when Wukong can take down anyone on the Rift. So we're going to have to keep our eyes on Xu early, as if Elise can get the jump on Wukong, just like most Elise jungle matchups, she wins hard, especially being magic damage in a Wukong who does get armor. So we'll see if Xu can take advantage of that, make sure that their double range bot lane is one that gets ahead early.
I also feel, to double down on that, Caitlyn has not been scaling well as a support. So
yeah,
it is about the early game, right? Like, they have to kind of execute here with this Elise-Caitlyn combo now. I'm
kind of torn on the Kate support. I don't love it. I'm not the biggest fan. Doesn't bring as much utility as like the Ashe or the Jhin does at that role. But
it's like, if you fall behind, what do you offer at this point, other than maybe a trap line to try and set up a dragon or something like that?
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about the pick as well. But if you get ahead and you only stay ahead, we have seen Dignitas again have scorching early games. They're the second strongest early game team that we have in NACL, with a gold diff of almost 3K on average at 15. And they're going to continue to index towards that early game as they get the push. The Emperor in the mid lane going to be that Azir.
Yeah, the Udyr was banned away. Fun to know right there. EG Challengers, we're not interested in Ryoma having to deal with the Sanity pocket pick. So it's going for the Azir instead.
So Silas is pretty good. You have Verisalt plus Azir ult. Victor, though, so this does offer some more scaling. There's a lot of range on the side of Dignitas, so Victor can somewhat deal with that. With those lasers and the R, very non-committal damage that you can put down from a lot of range. My one concern, though, is that Victor, Wukong Elise does win that jungle matchup. So if you get Victor's flash out early, level 6, you're dead. And at level 6, you're getting all in no matter what. If Dignitas plays around that well, they're going to send people mid, make sure that Victor's going to be down flash early. So let's keep our eyes on Ryoma and see if he can dodge out in those few windows. Because if Victor does save flash, he does scale and win this matchup later against Azir.
But you need the flash because you don't have any other mobility. You got to worry about Cocoons, Varus ultimate, and the Azir shuffling you. It's Gnar for the blind pick for Soul, so they're trying. They know he's going to get countered. They're trying to go for something that he can pilot comfortably. And honestly, I don't hate it necessarily for what the rest of the comp's trying to do.
Dig needs engage. So Jax, this is fully committed now to lane focus and splitting. So they're just going to try and take turrets as fast as possible on the side of Dignitas. Keep in mind, the engage is going to be from Varus, Elise. Those are going to be Cocoons and, Chains of Corruption. I would really like to see Smoothie go for maybe Mikhail's second this game. If you can Mikhail's out of a Chain of Corruption, what else can Dignitas do to engage on the EG comp? There are a lot of ways for EG to deter that as well, with the Mega Gnar, with the Wukong. But Dignitas, they're the second best early game team that we have in NACL. It's all early game, man.
Did you see Jenkins 5-champ Counter-Strike
That's true.
engage?
Yeah, we've seen some good Jax play. Haunter had a massive flank actually against Dignitas week 1, too.
So I'm not counting them out entirely, but you're right in general, right? Like, they have limited tools to go for these engages. It's going to be more about early game lane phase around the bot side. That's what I'm really focusing on, because again, if the Caitlyn falls behind, I don't see a lot of opportunities for that to come back. How does the Jax versus Gnar matchup look, though? Is Elise going to be pulled up there also?
I'm curious if Hoon's going to go Grasp, as that is usually the tech we see in the Gnar, actually kind of pioneered by Solo when he came back into the World CQ ladder. So I think that for Hoon, you're trying to trade off of your Grasp cooldowns and kind of use the Counter-Strike to pressure or walk away. Jax does win this matchup if he is able to continue to go in, but it's all bot focus for Elise, because it's all or nothing when you have Varus Caitlyn.
Well, we're into game number 1 of the final day for week 3. Dignitas Challengers versus Evil Genius Challengers, trying to hold on to their top spot, focusing around this ranged bot lane with the Elise in the jungle. Evil Geniuses Challengers 6-6. They're 50-50, but let us know in chat who you think is going to take this game right now. Evil Genius Challengers, they're favored. They do have the majority of the vote.
See if Shaden and EG can even get to this mid game. As again, as we've kind of stated, we do like the team fight potential from EG. We're just very concerned about the full court press that Dignitas will have early, and how much an Elise and XU can take advantage of that, as it will be something that EG has to dodge out on. Yeah.
Early ward clear.
Ooh.
So Hoon gets experience for that, right? Does that mean he's going to hit that level earlier, or should XU have given him the final hit?
I think that's a good call, Kangas. If Hoon gets the final hit, he does get the XP to hit 2 on the first wave, but it's actually taken by XU. This does mean that if he takes 2 enemy camps, he will hit 3, which is not the case with enemy jungle XP changes in the early season now. So maybe we see Elise go for an early invade, but I still expect to see her getting bot side very soon, as we do have Shaden working his way up towards the top side.
Yeah, starting bot, working top. XU currently still hanging around the top side. Might be a full clear angle before going bot, or could hover around here. Because, yeah, Hoon getting level 2 first would have been pretty big in this matchup. Insanity actually gets it over Ryoma and wins a slight early trade here. But the big thing is that Evil Geniuses now know that XU started top, because they had that ward, XU cleared it out, sure, but you can still have a little bit of information to start with.
And we do have Shaden. Okay, so Shaden's actually not working his way up towards the top side. He has reverse cleared. Gonna wrap up on the Krugs. We see this path a lot with Elise. Just start Raptors and just sprint bot. Dignitas do spot that ward thanks to our observers for the toggle there. Shaden will not show, but Dignitas do know that Shaden is on the bot side, and XU already gonna get the jump on him. This is dangerous.
Oh, Shaden's gonna walk in blind right here. Straight into XU's waiting arms. Electrocute's already down. XU is not
He's in trouble.
Cocoon yet. Okay, Shaden held onto the clone for as long as possible. Does not die, doesn't blow some, but XU can now still exert a lot of pressure down here.
And keep in mind that XU did hold on to the repel. So, you know, could have repelled and tried to hop on Shaden and actually get his flash, but holding on to that's on purpose, because they still want to go for this dive bot.
Sanity trading heavily against Ryoma. Doesn't go down. Pretty close. Now the dive bot lane. Shaden stuck around, so the counter gank is there. Flashes the cocoon. XU will repel. Actually just flashes over the wall. Not interested in going down.
Well played by the bot lane of EG, but a lot of sums still taken away, and even a plate here for Tomo and Diamond. So even, you know, with the counter gank, getting the flash out of XU, it's still a massive win here for the bot lane of Dignitas.
And that was, keep in mind, Shaden also going down, pathing, dropping a ward into Tribush, and then just getting chunked up by XU. So it feels like Evil Geniuses knew that this was happening. Shaden's not around to help out anymore. So Evil Geniuses Challengers bot lane needs to survive on their own without flashes. They only have heal. XU's going in, misses the heal yet again. Teleport coming in. Repels up. First blood to Tomo. Traded right back, as Mobility will grab one as well.
Ryoma could trade flash for flasher if he wants, but again, Ryoma's flash, very valuable. So I like the fact that he doesn't get rid of that. And EG, honestly, like, they're still down gold. It's a clean reset for the bot lane to dig, but I don't think that's that bad for the side of Dignitas still, even with that trade kill going over. Could have been cleaner, but it still is playing towards their win condition of destroying this bot lane.
And I like how aggressive Evil Geniuses try and play this afterward, just throwing all the damage in to XU right away. They say, yep, okay, we know we're not going to survive this. Let's just try and get the damage out that we can. The teleport from Ryoma might not have been necessary in hindsight, but in the moment, I still think it's cool that he was so willing to say, yep, I'm coming down. We're going to make sure that they don't push for anything more.
I do want to credit Mobility, too. Using the heal to dodge on Cocoon, and he also killed the wave with the bouncing Q. So that actually forced a bonus flash out of Tomo. So well played by Mobility on the defense there. It still is a 1k gold deficit for EG, but at least they got the trade kill. Could have been much worse.
Jaden's got to be ready for the second gank, though, because they're pushed in. XU's pathing bot side. Jaden doesn't have anything to clear top, so I'm imagining that both junglers, just like magnets into this bot lane, probably heading down there again.
Yeah, so given the first clear, Shaden's now, clearing out the respawn camps. So he will hit level 5 by the time that he's bot lane again, as will XU. So pretty even still on the camps for junglers, but we're going to see another fight, and when summoner spells are down, that Elise Cocoon gets all the more scary.
They have vision. Thanks to the Ashe support, they know exactly where XU is. Now XU's actually heading towards the mid lane instead, spotted on the ward. This is a lot of information Evil Geniuses are operating with. Yes, the spider is scary, but when you know where she is, a little less intimidating.
Do want to credit Ryoma again. We did mention earlier in the game, how important that level 6 is for Azir and how Victor just gets all in. Where he had that lane, or the wave state, can't get all in, but mid lane's not the focus. It's bot lane. That's a second plate for Diamond and Tomo. And Smoothie, oh boy.
They just chunked out the support Ashe without their jungler even on the same screen there. Smoothie and at the back now. Shaden even showed. So Dignitas know that the jungler is nearby. They're still starting up the dragon. They have the priority. They have the push. Smoothie will not be around. So this should just be a free objective to Dignitas.
Again, this early power in draft. Dig are getting the most out of it. This is about to be the third plate for the Kate Varus lane. And again, Tomo second in all ADs in gold div at 15. Dignitas second as a team in gold div at 15, sitting at almost 3k. They've already built a 1.5k gold lead here. It's been a massive game from them.
Ryoma throws out the ultimate to try and chunk out Insanity and clear the wave. Looking for a back here. Insanity could try and get the flash out of him, but doesn't have enough damage to kill without going in for the Emperor's Divide. But yeah, this bot lane's getting gross here, Cubby.
The fourth plate.
It's like, I keep wanting to bring the attention elsewhere, but I'm happy the observers are stopping me. It's all about this bot lane. It's just a shove in 4 plates at 7.5 minutes to Tomo and Diamond.
Yeah, making that support Caitlyn look damn worth it on the side of Dignitas here.
Say that.
And I keep in mind, this lethality Jhin. If Jhin, or Varus, I should say, if Varus gets ahead with this build path, he is so oppressive and so difficult to deal with in the early 2 mid games. So off to the races already here for Dignitas.
All it takes is one arrow around a dragon setup, herald setup, any kind of setup, and suddenly you're like, well, we've already lost the fight. And Tomo's going back into lane, even with the tier stacking a little bit, getting towards that first lethality item completed. And Mobility, Smoothie, they are struggling right now. They're going to have to just try their best to get the gold that they can. But right now, we bring our attention to the top jungle, as that is where Dignitas are setting up their next play. Herald on the table. Ryoma on the table.
Diamond is already here. That's an okay chunk onto Ryoma, but importantly, Ryoma has that flash. I think EG is going to try to wait for that Victor ult CD to come back up. And maybe they can think about contesting, but they're down 2k gold. And I know Varus has most of that and is not at this fight, but as long as Mobility is going bot, you can see Tomo, now that he's crashed the wave, he's at least hovering towards this top side. And the range and poke from Dignitas, Shaden's at half. He has the red buff to heal up, but that could be it. They're going to start it off that.
I wasn't even with the Varus. Like, that was the lethality. Caitlyn, that's the support that was able to do that much damage. So the objective control from Dignitas through this Caitlyn support that I was so critical of, saying you need to get ahead. Well, hey, when you get ahead, this is what the pick can do.
Diamond is making it work. Of course, Diamond, you know, people may not know or remember a role swap from mid and a little bit of marksman play back very early on in his career, 2013, 2014. You know, getting to flex some of that almost 10 years later here with the support Caitlyn.
Yeah, one of my favorite things is that he played in the old Challengers League before it rebranded to Academy. So yeah, Diamond's definitely been around. This is a champion he would have put a lot of time into. I don't think he's ever seen a meta like this, though. I will say, the one coolest thing I can say about right now, this is the most unique support meta I think I've ever seen.
I don't know. Season 8 summer, where it was like the Swain bot, that meta, that might have been the only thing that can even compete. But
that wasn't the support meta. That was the carry meta. The Swain was farming.
That's true. That's true. You know, Diamond's not farming, but he is farming plates. We do like that from our supports. Is without a Kate, again, these abilities hit very hard. And this is going to be first brick, even without Herald taken as Smoothie.
Just getting destroyed in this lane. The Diamond just threw out the ace in the hole as soon as it was up, just to try and poke out Smoothie, and then an arrow lands, and now he's like, yep, I gotta get back. Even with Shaden hanging around, there's no shot here. This turret will fall pre-11 minutes. They can go for a lane swap, start working on another one, and they still have 3 minutes to farm plates.
I love this from Dignitas. They are playing really well with this early game full court press. As ZZ trying to take down, you know, EG, the old squad, as early as possible. With a 3K gold lead. Again, this comp, it does need this sort of lead from Dignitas. I really feel like, you know, as we get to the 15-minute mark, this is a comp that needs to be up 3.5, 4K gold. That is extreme, but there are playmaking tools that can make life difficult for the squishy members of Dig, but the fact that there hasn't been a single fight, Kangas. They've just been hitting turrets and skirmishing and using the skirmishes to win out on the health bar war to win. Now they have the Varus in the top lane. They're looking to farm more turrets. This has been very good from Dig, but now EG's going to answer.
EG finally have a play. Soul jumps in. Meganar. Oh, it's repelled. Dodged by XU. Holding on to that.
Oh, no. He's dead.
And now they say, where you going? We thought you wanted a fight, EG. Telmo picks up the kill onto Smoothie.
I like the attempt from Soul. That's a good play to make, as it was in the middle of the lane swap from Dig as they're trying to get more plates onto their bot lane. But XU, great repel. No summoner spells even burned, and they pick up the Ash as Dig continues to cruise.
I don't think Soul expected to get bursted out by a support Caitlyn that quickly, but keep in mind, this support Caitlyn's got more gold than mobility right now. His own 80 carry. So,
oh my goodness.
Yeah, she hits pretty hard, and it is just... It's not stopping. Cubby, this is a Herald mid. More and more plates picked up by Dignitas, sharing the wealth.
I do love taking that away from Victor, too, the wave clear. As you can see, Victor, he's going to be a little bit better off now at this stage of the game. Has the Merc Shreds, the Lost Chapter. This is about the point of the matchup where you have a lot of wave clear with that in Power D, and you can somewhat contest the Azir. But, oh boy, I mean, I don't even think it matters. This top side, as long as Dignitas keeps this 2v2, they're going to be hard winning, because we do get a replay. Really well done from XU. Dodging out on that combo. No chance for Soul. Has to get on out of there, and then Smoothie. A little bit too far up here, the back half.
Soul also just, he sees squishy members, squishy champions, thinking, I'm Gnar, I got the team behind me, let's go for the wombo. But the cocoon into the Caitlyn trap, he couldn't move at all to actually get in engage range. I think that was really good positioning and spacing from Diamond. He just immediately got away from the threat, played a cool collective. The Caitlyn combos, for a support to be piloting them, looking pretty smooth.
There's definitely been a meta that has tested some of our support players. It's good to see Diamond. You know, I think he's been passing that test with flying colors. Again, I'm not surprised. Diamond's always been a quality support that we've had in NACL. And it is good to see him, you know, flexing some of those muscles on different champs.
Ryoma's emote right there. After getting hit by the Caitlyn Q, I think pretty much sums up the EG experience right now.
Oh, man. All right. Well, again, Dig, they are down 4.5k gold. If they find a team fight, it's good, but...
Oh, Shaden feels forced to go in. He was trying to bait them out, thinking it was the clone, but they kept hitting him. Now curtain call pulled.
Oh, good try.
Right between the goal posts. Mobility not landing enough damage, but hey, they deter Dignitas from invading further. Dignitas, they've done that play like 3 times now, where they just walk into the top jungle of Evil Geniuses.
Yeah, their goal is to skirmish with Elise. I think Dig, they're executing this comp really well. This is clearly something that they've practiced. I think the theory is really good behind it. They haven't taken a single team fight, and EG knows that, we have to try and find these big fights. Use the Wombo. Use the big team fight ultimates we have in the Mega Gnar, in the Wukong. But Dignitas, they've done their best in not giving them any opportunity to do so. They haven't even burned summoner spells to get out of these plays.
And a big thing that we haven't really given a lot of focus to, because of it's all been about the bot lane shove, the fact that, what's the win condition? Obviously, a gold lead helps, but Hoon in the side lane on the Jax, unanswerable right now.
Hold on.
Because of Soul's earlier play. Okay, flash from Diamond. Oh, the damage is there from Smoothie. They get the kill. Tomo failing the flash of mobility. Punishing the bot lane, but Dignitas want more. Insanity under the turret. Flash out of Ryoma. Turret is down. The rest of Dignitas challengers will not commit to the rest of the play.
ECA a little bit late from Smoothie, but sending a message in the back half. That is what EG needs to do, though. And honestly, again, from mobility, well played on the Jhin. Those bouncing grenades, it cleared the wave. That's what enabled him to hit that W on the Diamond. And one mistake from this bot lane, it is all that EG needs to try and find plays, find the win. Again, this is a very squishy, risky, hard to execute composition from Dignitas. And as this game goes on, they will have issues dealing with the 5v5 from EG. They need to continue to find poke and skirmishes and avoid those types of fights.
If you're Evil Geniuses, you need to get as much as you can out of this. The Domino
Go for the bot lane. Go attack the bot lane. Yeah.
Okay, they're going for the Herald, but Dignitas get back on the map in time to push them off. So Evil Geniuses, it's nice to get a little bit of gold in their pocket, but they don't actually find anything more after.
What EG it needs to do for me, it's no flash on Tomo Diamond. We have no flash. We have flash available for Soul. It's a TP Mega Gnar, right? If they're going to stay in these lanes, we have to try and make a play. I know Soul's Mega Gnar is just running out, but that's the only way that we're going to find things is by trying to find TPs, trying to find angles, and punish those flashes being down. EG really needs to do that if they want to get some gold in their pockets.
It feels like that was the moment. That Herald play right there. You just killed Diamond Tomo. Yeah, they back and spend their gold, but like you said, no flashes. They had teleport on Soul. They could have looked for more with the Wukong ultimate as well, but they back off and give the Herald over to Dignitas. I think Evil Geniuses Challengers playing a little too respectful almost right now. I mean, when you're behind, it's sometimes scary to say, okay, go for the aggressive play, so I empathize with them, but that might have been the window.
I think that they can wait. Like, they don't even have to fight this next dragon. Ocean's not the worst role in the world for EG. I think that you just have, you have to go while flashes are down. You have to try and find something, because, that is how you can punish the very squishy members of Dig. So we'll see if Shaden can maybe look. See if he can find the Kate and the Varus that are so vulnerable at the moment.
They have multiple members around this third dragon spawning. Mega Gnar times out, and they back off. So it looks like Evil Geniuses are conceding the third dragon, trying to scale up as much as they can. They do have a strong team fighting core. If they can get the Gnar and the Wukong into engage range and then follow it up with all of their damage. And they're playing a patient game right now. They're not trying to force anything. They're not trying to go too aggressive. They're saying, all right, let's play defense.
Dignitas full control over the bot side. Shaden thinking about it, but they're losing access to camps, and Dignitas are trying to snowball this lead as far ahead as they can. We'll see if this is given. It should be actually will be given over to mobility. Smoothie gets a ward down. They're thinking about it. If they want to play for this, they have to play through bot, but Dig again. Let's see how much poke they can get down, how much time they can buy. Oh, that's close.
Yeah, Smoothie just getting out of there. I'm curious what the items are right now. I know that we're in the teamfight mode, but Ryoma backed and TP'd mid. Insanity walked down. So Insanity actually... Yeah. Okay, items are still pretty close there. Ryoma doesn't...
Oh, look at Ryoma.
Ryoma actually could be in trouble here. Insanity looking for the 1v1. They just trade damage against each other, so Shaden's looking into the pit.
Arrow goes wide. Soul's mini. This is hard for EG. EG cannot fight this.
And Hoon's on the flank, threatening a dive. EG looking to maybe just poke in. Shaden cannot approach into all of the poke, and that is a dragon secured for Dignitas Challengers.
And Dig, again, I really want to credit Dignitas. I think they're playing this comp out very, very well. They have the range advantage. they were able to skirmish and take health bars away. Yeah, they have to avoid this big engage from EG. Like, that's how they have to protect their squishies, but EG had no opportunities there. Like the control from Dig, it's really good. This is not an easy comp to execute, and they're doing a great job of it.
Props to the bot lane, props to XU for playing around it so well. The control that they've had through the bot lane in the early game and now into the entire map through this core. I mean, look at the vision score of XU. He's #1 in the game right now, and he doesn't even have wards. This is just from the sweeper Elise, because he's just clearing out all of the vision of Evil Geniuses. Anytime he goes somewhere, they have to go in blind. Nice fish for the arrow. Doesn't get into Insanity, though.
We're going to see Smoothie fish. I mean, every arrow that's off cooldown again. If they hit, that's how EG can find plays, can find advantages, but if not, you can see the damage that Shaden just took from just to Nazir, guys. Like, this is so tough for EG to get out on the map and play, given the lead that Dignitas was able to find early with his bot lane advantage. Is Smoothie.
Ooh, flash from XU bursting down the clone, but Shaden gets out. They are asserting their control right now, dropping the Herald top side to pull Evil Geniuses up while Hoon pushes in the bot side. Every lane shoving in right now. Dignitas can do anything they want on the map.
And the timer's running here for EG. They have 3 minutes and 20 seconds until that soul's up for Dig. They got to do something with that. And we'll see if EG, I think, again, when objectives are down, we know the Dignitas are going to be full court press across all 3 lanes. That's the time where EG can try and overload, sacrifice some minions to try and get some flashes out of Dignitas. That's worth it. I think that the gold differential, 6k is very significant, but again, if Wukong Nar can find something, this comp is very squishy from Dig, and a lot of weight lies on Insanity's Azir to make sure that he's able to find the disengage. The Emperor's Divide, very valuable for pushing people back with all the range that Dignitas has. So I think that's a big linchpin and a big key to look out for on the side of Dignitas in these fights.
Almost being focused right now. Oh, it just sidesteps the arrow. Oh, it's so hard
honestly
to find anything.
That is one where I kind of want mobility to open up with the R. Because I think that if you find a slow, then you can follow up with the arrow and at least guarantee you get a summoner spell. Again, ECA off cooldown's good. And okay, here we go. That's good.
Instead, Diamond walks into territory that did not belong to Dignitas. Evil Geniuses found a pocket that was much needed where there was no vision.
Well played again. This is what EG has to do. They have ways to get some gold on themselves. A lot of it's just going to be trying to kill as many champions as they can. Smoothie again has ECA up. So when that's off cooldown. We got there, Kangas. When it's off cooldown, he should put it on cooldown. That's...
Yeah. I like that, yeah. It's all about just...
It's about reps.
It out every single second that it is available. And I gotta say, Diamond, you knew where they weren't. You could have guessed where they were there. So, slight misstep again after the Caitlyn. Got ahead early on. Falling slightly behind now. This is kind of concerning. And it's so funny how going into this game, Cubby, you and I were talking about, it's mid-jungle. Shaden Ryoma versus XU Insanity. Who's going to be, take the better of this? But it's been about jungle bot side. Early game goes to Dignitas, but so far, Smoothie and Mobility have been finding a couple more plays with Shaden.
You're really excited to see the mid-jungle kind of go toe-to-toe, given how strong Insanity was. Insanity in his one split of NACL was one of, if not the best mid laner that we had. And Ryoma has always been that person when he competed. He was not competing last split when Insanity did arrive, so really excited about this one. But they played to the meta, which is these marksman supports. And it's had a significant impact so far.
Okay, so we got the Ashe arrow on cooldown, but we also got the Ace in the Hole on cooldown. One of them is...
No, Ashe arrow's up. I want to see them hunt. It is important that Diamond, kept that flash available to himself as EG.
Dignitas don't know Shaden's in here. Oh, now they do. Okay.
Oh, Ryoma. He just burned R. That's massive. Ryoma does have TP to get back in here. Shaden?
That was the real Shaden. He didn't get back over the wall. So
that's Dragon.
Flash. Oh, that hurts. Evil Geniuses are trying to set up for the Dragon Soul fight, but Dignitas just throw out the poke. They get the damage from range, and they earn themselves a free Dragon Soul.
Dignitas has played this out very, very, very well. They had a lead. EG cannot breathe on this map, guys. Any territory they try and take, they can't get to the water. Dignitas are holding them down, not letting them get to where they need to be. And like, what else can EG do? Shaden's gonna try and get around them here and go for a flank as they pepper the Baron. Ocean Soul's very valuable for Dignitas, as again they're trying to play this range poke game, so they're always gonna have the resource advantage and the health and mana bars with this, but they have to fight.
Shaden's looking for the play now. Oh, but it was just to get out of the situation mostly, as Smoothie almost blown up with the poke of Dignitas. Multiple ultimates down, and Evil Geniuses don't find anything for that. They are pretty much looking for desperation plays here. And Cubby, this is a very different look for Evil Geniuses Challengers now with their starting mid laner in the roster. I mean, if this is the meta and how it's working for everybody else, it's not how we saw Evil Geniuses playing earlier, and they are struggling to actually perform in this style.
I mean, Ryoma did just get here, and I think that, you know, Ryoma has been playing fine, but we will see if EG, can sync up as Insanity.
Drops the turret down. Okay, he almost takes down Soul. Should die here.
They're trying to gift it to Mobility.
They are trying to gift it right now, but Insanity's actually buying a lot of time with that. Mobility finally gets the kill on the Rampage. XU charging in onto Smoothie. Surely has enough damage to take this, and the Ace in the Hole will help out. Shaden running away now. XU picking up that kill, and Smoothie, how long can you survive, buddy? One auto, he's dead.
Meanwhile, TP onto Varus, as we'll see if we can chase the Varus off here.
Doing up there?
Yeah, Tomo, he was chasing Jin, but that still was a 2-for-1 on a play that EG started. Again, the gold lead and the control for Dignitas huge, and a very valuable Azir passive. So that turret got a lot of work done and might enable Dignitas to take this Baron. Soul is resetting. He does not have TP. He's not going to cancel this recall. So Baron, over to Dig.
Ryoma with no ultimate says, no, let's just go for the wave instead. Mobility's going to try and push out mid. Dignitas, I don't think they've been contested on an objective yet. They always win the setup fight for the objective, and that means that they've never actually had to make the decision. Do we go for the objective secure, or do we go for the fight afterwards? They've just been picking these up because they have a good enough setup ahead of time.
It really was just the one mistake in the top lane from Tomo and Diamond that made this game interesting. Besides that, this game has been executed wonderfully by the side of Dignitas. I mean, even this, Insanity plays this out so well. And because he buys so much time, that does guarantee the fact that, you know, they get a 2-for-1 even on a play where Insanity was caught out, went down. It's a big member as Shaden.
So much damage right there. Soul's not even close to Mega, so cannot threaten here. And Shaden, that low will have to back off. Baron push with Ocean Soul with an 8,000 gold lead. Cubby, they're checking all the boxes that you had for Dignitas, saying, wow, they needed for this comp, but now they're going for the play. Evil Geniuses try and pick off Diamond, get blown up in the process.
Again, EG, they have to try and force plays. That's too early from Shaden, though. As EG, this comp from Dig, I mean, the range, guys, if you want to play double range bot lane with Luis, this is the VOD you want to watch for how to do it. I mean, Dig played this very, very well this game, and it made it look unplayable for EG.
And it wasn't for lack of Shaden trying to play defensively. He was hovering bot side as well, trying to go for the counter ganks, the counter plays, and it still happened as Ryoma is just having a rough time of it right now. Welcome back to the NACL, Ryoma. We've missed you. Hope you're having a good time. You had to go up against a 2-0 Tristana starting lane phase yesterday, and now you have to play against this nonsense today.
XU's making it look like Elise Scales, man. That's if we're able to one-shot Victor, it's not bad.
Yeah, I mean, not even 2 items completed either. Went for the early Darkseal, only has 3 stacks because of how little action we saw this game. I think it's just going to end right here.
That's it. Oh my god.
Disgusting poke damage coming in from Tomo here. And with this many Baron-empowered cannon minions, you got to imagine this is the base defense to end the game for Evil Geniuses. They got to hold out here with no inhibitors left alive. Dignitas with all the range to play through are not even giving Evil Geniuses the chance.
Soul's got to go.
Look for something. He jumps in and he's down before he can even throw out the ultimate. Hoon says, please let me get an assist. Anything? No. 0-0-0 for Hoon to end the game because it was all about the bot lane.
Beautiful game of League of Legends from Dignitas, guys. That was really fun to watch. Like, the focus bot, I mean, You know exactly what Dig wants to do with those first 3 picks. It is Kate support and Elise jungle. Dignitas did not care what EG's answers were. They blitzed the map. They played the full court press. That was a really fun game to watch, honestly. A really tough comp to execute from Dignitas, and they made it look easy. So big props to them. They look like our top team right now for a reason.
Very cerebral play coming from Dignitas Challengers after game
Really
one.
good
We're
play,
gonna send
yeah.
it to a short break here to get ready for our halftime show. Give the players some time to rest before we're back for game number 2 after this.